which is going to be taken by Pastor Collins, and is going to be telling us about technology and media literacy for effective ministry. I know a lot of us have iPhones, Android, Samsung. If you have it, please just wave. Let's see. And we all use Instagram. We use TikTok. There are a lot of TikTok challenges that we are doing. Now, we are going to call on Pastor Collins, who is going to be telling us how to effectively use this social medium platform for Christ. Can we jam our hands together as he comes to the altar?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's a great privilege to be standing before us this morning. I'd like to appreciate the presence of our national coordinator for young ministers from the person of Pastor Faith. Please let's celebrate him. Our Oga at the top, sir. Thank you for honoring our invitation. How many of us are excited to be here this morning? All right. So this morning I want to talk about technology, talk about media, and how that we can benefit from it and use it for our own good. Something happened in the year 1455 in Germany. Who can guess what happened then? Who has an idea? If you are someone that has flair for current affairs, history, something notable happened that year. Okay, nobody. So the first printed book was printed that year. And guess what book was that? Who can guess? Who can guess? Thank you very much. The Bible. The Bible is the first book that was printed, yes, in the year 1455. And it's very instructive. You know why it's instructive? That was the first book that we printed. I mean, the printing press, the technology just came out then. And Gutenberg used the Bible to test run it. So it tells us how that technology has always been available and is being used to propagate the gospel. You know, before then, what they had was scrolls, and they did not have it the way you have it today. As in, you have to carry some big stuff to say you are carrying the Bible, right? But now everybody has a Bible that you can carry. A small Bible like this, but it has Genesis to Revelation, right? Because of that invention. And ever since then, every technology that has come about has also come to help us in propagating the gospel. So when the radio technology came around, also people jumped on it. And as people jumped on it, what happened? The gospel spread. We have a lot. I mean, the founder of the Foursquare, International Church of the Foursquare Gospel, she was using the radio technology a lot in her days to propagate the gospel. Then from radio we went to television. I mean, we are still seeing televisions today. I know many of us don't even touch radio, but I mean, we still see television today. And television is also being used. You see a lot of ministers on TV today preaching what? Preaching the gospel. You know, we have gone beyond those era of print. We've gone past the era of radio. We've gone past the era of TV. What media do you think is so common today now? Social media. Social media. And do you know the interesting thing about social media? Everybody here has access to it. How many of us, okay, if you're not on social media, let me see your hand. If you're not on social media, see this brother that always posts, he's raising his hand. You're not on social media. All right, so some of our teenagers are not yet on social media. It's just a matter of years, right? So what you will come to realize is that now that we have social media, so what do we do with it? We also use it to do what? To propagate the gospel. We use the social media to do what? To propagate the gospel. And that's why this morning I want to quickly talk about the church and you as content creators. The church and you as what? The church and you as what? So what is content? What's content? What's content? Content is basically information. Information. Right? So information could be in different forms. Right? But that's basically what content is. And you know an interesting thing? You know, God in Genesis chapter 1 showed us that he is the what? He's the creator of heaven and earth, right? So God our Father is a creator. Do you agree? He's a creator. Genesis chapter 1 and 2, you see how that God created the whole world. Right? So when God created the world, God said man and man and woman should be like him, right? He created us in his image. So if God is a creator, so who are we? We are creators. So that's why I want to talk about content creation, because you and I are content creators. Do you get that? You and I are content what? Content creators. So God has wired us to be content creators. He has given us that ability, right? And so I said earlier that I will talk about the church and you. So let's start with the church. The church as content creators, because Jesus gave us a mandate to go into the world and preach the gospel, right? So, of course, you can go out there and talk to somebody physically about the gospel. But you can, even as simple as posting on your WhatsApp status, preach the gospel. I hope you know that. You can use your WhatsApp status to preach the gospel. You can use your WhatsApp status to tell people about Jesus. You can use the online media, social media, to tell people about Jesus. So when you do that, you are fulfilling God's mandate, right? So as a local church, I know every one of us here belong to a local church. Every one of us here belong to a local church. Some of us are coming from far, but you have a local church that you attend. And your local church creates content. I hope you know that. Your local church creates content. You are not aware of that. Okay, for example, you come to church on a Sunday. What activities do you do in church on a Sunday? Who can help me out? Who can help me out? What regular activities do you hold on a Sunday service when you come to church? You worship. Thank you, sir. What again? You praise. Thank you. What again? Benediction. Okay, this brother wants to quickly go away from it. That's why I mentioned benediction. What again? Sermon. Do you know that those things you mentioned are all content? When you record the praise and worship session in your church, then you post it online, what's that? That's content. That's content. When your pastor preaches, the pastor of your church preaches on Sunday, and okay, for example, somebody takes a note of the message, writes out the sermon, the text, all the things the pastor said. Do you know that's content? You have not posted it online yet, right? But that's content. The person has just written it down. Someone else can also do a audio recording of that same sermon. How many of us have listened to audio recordings before? So someone else can do an audio recording. What format is audio recording? Let me see how tech savvy we are. What format? What the file format of audio? MP3. Thank you, sir. So pastor is the only one answering me. Okay, so what format is video? What file format is video? No, pastor, please don't. Video. I want to hear from. MP what? MP4. Okay, thank you very much. You know, there was a time I was wondering, why is there MP3 and there's MP4? What of MP5? What else? What is MP2? Have you thought about that? Okay, that's not the topic of discussion today, right? So, but when you record the pastor's message in MP3 format and you post it, that's content. When you do the video recording and you also post it online and you post it on social media, there's a popular man of God that was trending, I guess, last year. It was trending a lot. It still trends. But do you know how he became so popular? I mean, he has been doing ministry for a while, obviously, but do you know how he became so popular? Somebody just takes a video, puts the phone like this. Put it like this. That's portraits, right? And as the pastor is talking around, he's moving around, they are videoing him. Then they post like maybe 1 minute, 60 seconds, post like 90 seconds of the pastor's message and post them online. Then every week, everybody's discussing about that pastor. Every week, everybody's discussing that pastor. And before you know it, it's everywhere. What's that? Just content. Not even the full message. Just like some 60 to 90 seconds of the whole message. Do you know you can also do the same thing in your own church? That's the essence of this section, so that we can realize the importance of content and how we can actually push this content and not just be idle in church, right? So I've said that you can do audio recording. I've said you can do video recording. So this session or our program right now, we are live on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. That's content. People are in their houses watching us and they're not here. And they are being blessed also. You and I can also replicate the same thing in our local church. You might be wondering that, it's hard now. It's not as easy as that. I mean, it's as easy as that. And that's why I mentioned earlier that social media has come to open everybody, give everybody access to technology. with your phone, with your mobile phone. I mean, you can just put your phone in front of the church and record what's happening, and you go live immediately. You don't need any high-end gadget, just your mobile phone. Just your mobile phone. It might look like, I mean, if you come to a bigger church like this, they will have this kind of camera, they will have wires they are running. But in your local church where you do not have so many hands, you can actually just do that. And your content goes live every week, right? And people are hearing the gospel. And of course, you know that the goal is that people hear the gospel, not just, you are not just posting it online. You are posting so that people hear the gospel and they are blessed by it. So I've mentioned, let me quickly mention Google My Business. How many of us have heard about Google My Business before? There was a time somebody came to my church. You know how she located my church? My church is along St. Finbar's Road, 102 St. Finbar's Road, Akoka. Do you know how she located my church? On a Sunday morning, she was looking for a church to attend. So she just searched Foursquare Church around. And my church popped up. My church popped up. Think about that. Think about how many people in your environment of your church are looking for a church around and the church is not there. What's Google My Business? Google My Business is on the map, putting your church on the map. You know Google Map, right? How many of us know Google Map? Yeah. So you want to go to a place you are not familiar with, you just put it on Google Map, right? And it takes you there. You can as well register your church. There's no cost to it. It's very, very free. When I mean, it's very, very free. If you don't know how to go about it, you can meet me after this session. You can put your church on Google Map such that people can actually locate your church. I know that there's a church here. There's a Foursquare church here. You can post, just like you do on social media, you can post pictures of your church. You can post sermons of your pastor. You can post your praise worship, your concerts, every event your church. You can post them there so that people see it. And you know what? Everybody in church can also go there and put a comment and say, oh, my church is a great church. I love my church. I love my pastor. I love what we do in church. I mean, it's a lively church. And because when people see that, what do you think they will think about the church? Just like if you want to go and buy a product on Jumia. People that buy products on Jumia or Konga, and you want to buy a mobile phone, then what do you go and check under the mobile phone? You go and check reviews. You see what other people are saying about it. That's the same thing that happens when everybody in the church goes there and talk about the church, right? And that's the first part of what I'll be talking today. Then lastly, this second part, I'll be talking about you and I as content creators. Not just the church now. Not just propagating content from the church, but you and I, everybody here as a content creator. What is the essence of doing that? So that the gospel and the message of Christ spreads across the earth. So that everybody hears the gospel. Almost every blessed day, our Father, the Lord, District Overseer, how many of us are on his busy list? You always get a message from him. Pastor Taiwo, you can attest to that every blessed day. So I don't know how that level of consistency is, how he does it. Every blessed day. The moment you wake up, you would have seen his message in the middle of the night. He has posted already. Why? He is intentional about posting content. Godly content. Christian content. All right? And content doesn't necessarily have to just be spiritual content alone. It could be educative content. And there are different types of educative content. You can educate people about life. You can educate people about fashion. You can educate people about cooking. You can educate people about career, about business. That thing that you are very good at, you are skilled at, you can educate people about it. So content goes beyond just saying Jesus loves you, right? But while you are talking about different things, let people see the life of God and the character of God in what you are doing. So I've mentioned that you and I as content creators, we need to put ourselves out there using social media, using the platforms that God has created for us. So you can post spiritual content, you can post motivational content, you can post entertaining content, you can post educative content. So let the message go out there and let it inspire people and let it motivate them to do right. So I will quickly talk about career paths that you can actually follow by just being someone who posts content, being a content creator. I hope you know that there are career paths. It's not just posting content alone. There are different career paths that you and I can follow. Number one, you could actually be a faith-based content creator. How many of us have seen you've gone you've gone on Instagram before and you see somebody that posts content regularly about church, about Christian life, or about the Christian faith. How many of us have seen people like that consistently? Can you mention examples? Can you mention examples? Sir? Praise word. Yes, thank you, sir. Who again? Other examples of Christian content creators. And you said that you will go online and you see these people. Olushola, thank you. Who again? There are several of them online that you can actually do these things. They post Christian content. I mean, many of them are pastors. Some of them are not pastors. And sorry, Femi Adegbili. Okay, I really do not know him personally, but I know that there are several of them like that we could actually follow. So some of them post Christian-based content, right? And you can actually take that as a career path, right? You can actually also be a social media manager. Do you know that there was a time, at the early stage of my career life, because I was the one managing the social media of my church, posting on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the likes, posting consistently like that. When I went for job interview, you know what I was using to speak as a yardstick to show my expertise? My experience in the church. I did not have. I don't think I had a professional experience there. But my experience in church was what I was using to sell to them that I have done this. I was able to move our page from 0 to 1,000 within this period of time. These are the kind of content I posted. How? Where did I get the experience? From the church. So don't think that you are just posting for just posting's sake. I mean, there's a lot of value that you can actually get from it. So you can actually also be a church media director. You can be in charge of media for the church. You can be a faith-based influencer. You can be a community manager for church. I mean, you see, different churches now are looking for people that will come and manage their social media. Different churches are looking for people who will come and manage their social media. So if you take it seriously in your local church, take it seriously in your personal life, you discover that you already have a portfolio. You know what a portfolio is? When you if you want to get a job, and let's say the job is for example, it's a social media manager or a graphic designer role. They will ask you, not just for your CV, they'll ask you for your portfolio. What does a portfolio do? Your portfolio shows that you have done this before, and you have done it here, you have done it here, you have done it here. So by the time you've done it for your church you posted severally, it becomes something that you can easily just talk about, you can explain, and you can get that job. Right, so being a community manager is also a career path that you can actually follow, and you can actually also be a Christian YouTuber or a Christian podcaster. I'm sure you also know podcasts, right? We're familiar with podcasts, right? So these are different channels of pushing out the gospel, and as well as pushing out our own individual content. In fact, with as simple as knowing how to write, you can write very well. If you can write very well, you can come up with a small book without even paying anybody. You can put that book on Amazon KDP. How many of us have heard of Amazon KDP? Kindle Direct Publishing, that's the meaning of KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. So Kindle Direct Publishing helps you to put your book on Amazon platform such that anybody from anywhere in the world can buy your book. You are a teenager, you can write. You have collection of materials that you've written, stories you have written, and you are wondering, when will people read my book? You can actually type them, compile them, make it beautiful, then post it on Amazon KDP. And anybody anywhere in the world can actually purchase your material. You are already an author. You are already an author, and your way to become a fast-selling author. So that's what content creation that can help you achieve. I mean, and there are different skills that you want to pay attention to while you are at this. For example, you want to learn how to write. You want to learn how to, for some people it's writing, for some people it's designing, for some people it's editing, right? For some people it's actually presentation. I mean, discover what path you want to follow and stay on it. And I trust that we become better in Jesus' name. So, content creation, God has designed each and every one of us as content creators. God has designed every one of us as content creators. we can actually go out there and propagate the gospel. You can actually go out there, use the social media available to you, use the tools available to you that are free of charge, that are readily accessible, and talk about Jesus and propagate the gospel. And you discover that you are fulfilling the great mandate that God has given to us in the book of Matthew chapter 28, verse 19 and 20, to go into the world and preach the gospel. So by using social media, you and I can actually go out there and tell people about Jesus. Tell people about Jesus. The seriousness you put to this will determine what you will get out of it. So if you are just going to be doing it for, let me just post because they are saying I should post, let me just do it. No, but if you decide that, no, I want to take it very seriously. If you decide that, no, I actually want to put my church out there. I mean, my pastor preaches a good sermon every Sunday. My church choir, they sing well. So how can we put our message out there? How can we put our songs out there? And you discover that by the time you do all this, just the same way you are watching other churches online, other people will also start to do what? They start watching your own church. Where? Online. And I pray that God will help us so that we can become exceptional in Jesus' name. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you.